We start off with our business summaries, both local and international stories.
The Ministry of Trade and Industry has issued a final directive for foreigners trading in Ghana's retail market to evict or face legal action. There has been an influx of foreigners in the country's retail market for the past few years, with calls for stakeholders to take action. The ministry, however, promised that this directive is going to be the final warning to all such persons. The Ghana Employers Association (GEA) has called on government to involve its members in the implementation of its flagship One District, One Factory initiative. It said its large membership base, all engaged in medium and large-scale businesses in the private sector, are poised to partner government to significantly impact on the successful implementation of the program, which is essentially private sector driven. The Ghana Education Trust Fund, GETS Fund, is to borrow a total of 2.3 billion Ghana cedis, equivalent to $500 million, from a consortium of financial institutions to be used to finance education infrastructure nationwide. According to sources, among the infrastructure to benefit from the loan are construction and completion of basic schools and vocational and technical training centers across the country. And on the international front, the UK government has cleared a proposal deal for Rupert Murdoch's 21st Century Fox to buy Sky. The British broadcaster has been the subject of a fierce bidding war between Fox and US cable giant Comcast. Comcast's bid has already been cleared, and Culture Secretary Jeremy Wright said Fox can go ahead if it sells Sky News. Workers at Fiat Chrysler plant in Italy are to strike after its main investor decided to pay 112 million euros, equivalent to 99.2 million pounds, to sign footballer Cristiano Ronaldo for Juventus. Both the football club and the car maker are controlled by Agnelli family through their holding company. For the USB union, the decision means Fiat is missing out on investment. It said the firm needed to guarantee the future of thousands of people rather than enriching only one.
In Ghana, and the Ghana Commercial Bank, GCB, has committed 1 billion Ghana cedis towards One District, One Factory initiative by government. About 270 clients have already put in their application for support. Head SME and One District, One Factory of GCB, George Fuache, says it has signed an agreement with a private initiative, Invest in Africa, to further facilitate credit access to SMEs in Ghana.
GCB has committed a minimum of 1 billion Ghana cedis to the One District, One Factory initiative rolled out by the government. And as the biggest indigenous bank, the board, the management, and the staff found it necessary to commit that to it. The SME department has existed in various shapes and forms, but there's now a strategic intent to it to become the core of the bank. So it is a new journey, a journey that comes with a lot of experience, but obviously the partnership would bring to the fore the knowledge base that Invest in Africa has based on their experience with SMEs, and that partnership is what we believe will change the engagement with the SME space.
Okay, so well, I must quickly add that the One District, One Factory program has already commenced in Cape Coast, and the projects have already started. So soon, Joy Business will be bringing you some more information on that. Government's One District, One Factory continues to receive a boost as the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology established a food factory processing at Mentukwa in the Brong Ahafo region. Provost College of Agriculture and Natural Resources, Professor Steve Emisa, says the factory, which will operationalize soon, will provide employment opportunities. He was speaking at the 52nd congregation of the university in Kumasi.
The college continues to support collaborations with various institutions in and around and outside the confines of the university. The college is making considerable efforts to support the One Village, One Factory initiative by the President of the Republic of Ghana. To this end, the college, with considerable support from the mainstream KNUST administration and with support from the Vice Chancellor, has commenced the establishment of a food processing factory at Mentukwa, which is near Sunyani in the Brong Ahafo region. A test run of both orange and pineapple juices has been made and normal production is anticipated soon. The College of Agriculture and Natural Resources is in the front line of the government's initiative on planning for food and jobs. Professor Richard Akroma, immediate past provost, my predecessor, has coordinated the cultivation of a 20.5-acre maize farm at Angomaso, and they will be interplanting with soybean. Congratulations, Richie.
Well, let's talk about some tax now. And the Ghana Chamber of Mines has indicated it will push for government to give incentives to mining firms engaged in exploration activities in the country. Speaking in an interview with Joy Business, President of the Chamber of Mines, Eric Esubonting, said the chamber will ask government to intervene to reduce their expenditure at various stages of the value chain.
Mining is a long-term game. It's not something you invest and turn around, and that's one of the things that at times some of our stakeholders don't appreciate fully. You start by pumping so much money into exploration. Until you invest enough in exploration, the pipeline of projects, you would miss it down the line. So you need to be investing in your exploration activities now, with the aim that about 10 years, 15 years, 20 years down the line, there will be a pipeline of projects so that as the current projects come to an end or current mines come to an end, there's another one in the pipeline that follows. So it's so important that we incentivize those exploration activities, and that's where the tax issue comes in. So like I was saying, to incentivize through fiscal means the exploration activities in the industry, because that is what secures the future of the industry. That is what provides the pipeline of operations of our mines into the future.
Stay with me on the extractives, and there are persistent calls by some players within the petroleum industry for the Public Interest Accountability Committee, PIAC, to move its concentration in the oil industry to also the mining sector. Some stakeholders in Kumasi have begun a campaign for government to establish a body to track the management and utilization of mining revenues. Former Dean of Architecture and Planning Department of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Professor Seth Opuni-Esiama, is leading in the campaign.
The forum was attended by key stakeholders like representatives of various assemblies, religious bodies, civil society organizations, traditional authorities, and the media. It was to provide a platform for participants to discuss and make inputs into the management and disbursement of the petroleum revenue. It was the 14th public forum to be organized by the Public Interest and Accountability Committee, PIAC. There were calls by stakeholders after the meeting for a body in the shape of the PIAC to track the management and utilization of mining revenues. Professor Seth Opuni-Esiama is the regional chairman of the Peace Council, leading the campaign.
I am worried. If you look at the petroleum sector, thanks to PIAC, at least we know what is happening. We know where the money is going to. We know how much we are getting. Who tells me how much we are getting in mining? We don't know. Everybody says, oh, Minerals Commission, Minerals Commission. Who is holding Minerals Commission to account to ensure that Minerals Commission itself will tell us how much money they themselves are getting out of mining? Go to all our mining towns. What is there to show that for all these years we've mined gold in these towns? Because nobody is watching over it for us. But the people of this country deserve to know how much is happening. If in the past we have not been able to do what we have to do, what I am saying now is it is not too late to start. We can start a PIAC for the mining industry tomorrow and it will work. So let government begin to think about it along those lines. Let the proper legislation be brought out so that we can monitor what is happening in the mining sector. I mean, to think that mining companies can export 100% of their profits, it's unthinkable. So how do we manage? No wonder the CD is so volatile, because there's nothing supporting it.
Crude oil prices have been rising gradually on the international market, with a barrel of the commodity being sold at $77 as at Wednesday. There have been calls for government to hedge the oil in the bid to avert the cost of imports on Ghana and to cushion consumers. Chairman Dr. Steve Mantiao says enough expertise is however needed before Ghana should consider hedging the oil.
And so for you to decide to hedge, you need to build enough capacity, expertise in order to hedge and to reap the necessary benefits. I'm aware some of our partners, in particular I think Tallow Oil, has expressed a desire to support this government and the country if we decide that we want to hedge. They have enough capacity, and the records show that over the period that they've hedged, they've actually derived a lot of benefits from the policy.
Prince Apia reporting.
Well, let's do some advertising now. And some players in the advertising industry are asking the finance minister to use the mid-year review to come up with policies to protect local firms in the sector. Speaking to Joy Business after the launch of its 20th anniversary, Chief Executive of Originate and an Indigenous Advertising, Marketing and PR company, William Ansah, says government must do more awarding of contracts to local advertising firms. Bismarck Ewusa was there.
It's your chance and you have to stand tall. Believe in yourself everywhere you go.
According to some indigenous advertising firms, their businesses are facing stiff competition from foreign advertising and marketing companies, a situation they believe is shortchanging the country. As a result, they are pressing on government the need to enforce local content participation laws. The Origin 8 boss, William Ansah, says government must do more by awarding local advertisers with contracts.
You know, one economy is going down. Businesses are going down. The businesses are going to also begin to cut down on their spending. And usually, the marketing budget is what suffers. What we are looking at is that we don't want government to be saying that we want to support local businesses. We want government to be a doer. Because if you have great local companies like this who can compete with the champions of the West coming in, and you are talking about local content, let it be actually local. A local content does not mean a company that has its branch in Ghana. That doesn't make it a local content. Get to the ground and see the local companies who need the support so that they can also become giants. If these local companies are being given all the big projects that the multinationals are running, we can also stand up to them. After all, Originate is managing most of the multinational companies in Ghana than any advertising company.
William Ansah spoke to Joy Business after the launch of his outfit's 20th anniversary here in Accra. In a keynote address, Minister for Business Development Ibrahim Mohammed Awal hinted government will launch the school entrepreneurship program this weekend in a bid to promote entrepreneurship in the country.
As a government, we want to create a climate that engenders entrepreneurship. We want the private sector to lead the agenda for growth in this country. That is why we are voting so much resources for young people to grow. Come Saturday, we are going to launch the school entrepreneurship program to help students to think entrepreneurial. We think that young people can only create and do business when they are given the encouragement. At the ministry, we voted $10 million to support young people. For the next 3 years, we are going to make it $100 million to support young people brilliant ideas to set up businesses.
Dr. Awal has assured local advertisers and businesses at large to prioritize social networking to remain relevant on the highly competitive market. Bismarck Ewusa's report for Joy Business.
Now to something that really gets me excited. Well, I want to have a second wedding, but of course with the same man. It's the Joy Beauty and Bridal Fair as it's officially opened today at the International Conference Center. The event is bringing together some giants in the beauty industry under one roof for the next 3 days. Esina Mapenu will be joining me soon, but let's bring you some activities that has been happening there during the day.
We have a lot of discount going out for our customers. Since we are in the fair and we are part, we've been here for several times. So there's a lot of discount that we are going to give to our clients who will join us here.
Okay. Yes. What about weddings? How much do you charge for weddings? Are you able to tell us?
Yeah, we have a package. So sometimes it depends. let me give you a rough estimate here. Maybe depending, we will give you the format. So at the end of the day, maybe it's going to be up to maybe 3,500. But you can decide to choose some options that you wouldn't like and which will definitely come down. And at the end of the day, you will still get some discount in addition to the one that will be taken out. Mostly in the peak of wedding times, when you come in, we give a lot of good discount to our clients.
Now let's get closer to the lady who is in charge of the wedding gowns here. One of the people in charge of the wedding gowns. Let's find out how much it will cost wedding gown for my would-be wife. Let's find out from them here. Hello, you're welcome to Joy News.
Hello, thank you.
Great. Acacia Brides. Okay. So Acacia Brides, tell me, wedding gowns, right?
Yes. We do wedding gowns, bridal makeup, and then bridal accessories too.
Goes into the option, like the choice of a wedding gown for women who come to you, would-be brides who come to you. What really goes into their choice?
Well, I think that for every bride, they need to look at their personalities. Some brides are down to earth, fun, some are fun. So you look at all that and you incorporate that into your dress. And then for choosing a wedding dress, you need to look at the cut of the dress, your body, figure and all. So we are bridal. When you come over to our shop, we assist you in helping you choose a gown that is just for your personality.
Interesting. So a lot of brides, sometimes they would have to make the wedding.
Well, Sandra Esinamapeno is right here with me. She's just returning from the conference center. Sandra, it's weddings.
I know, right?
Well, it's a girls thing today.
I know. But how was the feeling like on your wedding day?
In fact, stop shouting. I was so excited. I was like, showing all my 32.
I can imagine. I'm not married yet, but when I got to the conference, I actually felt like a bride.
Okay, so
I was just waiting for the man.
I
was just waiting for the man to come. I just enter one of the stands and then I have a wedding. Unfortunately, the man is not
okay, so
there.
tell us, give us a breakdown of exactly what is happening there.
So the Joy Beauty and Bridal Fair kickstart today at the conference center. Like you said, a lot of activities are ongoing there. And for me, what is so refreshing about it because it's the discounted sales that they are having. Every stand there has slashed their prices down drastically just to get people out there to buy. And interestingly, if you're not getting married this year, you can actually get there, buy it down, and then you can use it later on, from cosmetic to the bridal gown and to insurance, housing. Marriage has to do with everything. It's a package. When you marry, where do you go? You go to your house. You need to do insurance packages and all that. Housing is also part. But interestingly for me, there were some lovely wedding gowns out there. Very, very, very interesting. And the conversation we've been having is as to whether you need to really pay attention to your bridal gown before you walk down the aisle. And for some people, there are certain things that are in vogue, but they don't look at their body shapes before they go for the gown. So the discussion has been about when you're going to pick your wedding gown, you actually need to watch your body and then pick whether the ball gown is good for you, the mermaid is good for you, or the fairy tale is good for you.
So what you're telling me is that there are people there to give you some expert advice. Tell us about that.
Exactly. There's a stand like Ruby's Bridal. They will tell you what will fit you, what will look good on you on your wedding day. And interestingly, statistics have shown that about 82% of women have wedding regrets. Why? It's because they chose the wrong wedding gown. So you can't have that, the preparation and then the butterflies in your tummy, and then at the end of the day you say, oh, my gown was not good. So they'll actually give you an advice on which gown can actually fit you. And for me, the prices are so amazing. You just have to get there and voila.
Okay, so tell us about accessorizing. I mean, if you're looking for accessories.
Exactly. Yes, PMMC is there. It's a government institution into jewelry, gold, white gold, anything that has to do with the finger, the ring, necklace, everything. PMMC. They've also slashed down their prices. And fascinators. You should have seen them.
I saw those pictures of yours.
Yes, and fascinators. I mean, it's so refreshing, and these are all made in Ghana, handmade fascinators also at the fair, and they're looking forward to also slash down prices for customers who will walk in there. And there's something very innovative about this year's fair. We used to taking pictures, printing them, and then put it on an album, but this time you can put it in a picture story, actually, a book. It's so amazing.
Okay.
And the price is cool. I'm just talking about the price because it's so exciting.
Yeah, because when you're thinking of weddings, you're looking at your budget and all that. So it will be good to really work within budget and save money, because there's also life after the wedding.
Yes, exactly. So I'm just calling on everybody to walk into the Accra International. The fair is actually running between today, which is the 12th to the 15th of this month. Earlier, there was an opening ceremony. We saw our bride and groom. Lexus was there as well. And so it promises side attraction. We are going to have also how do you call it, a fashion show, and our favorite on-air personalities will also be there to walk down the aisle, the model in the wedding gown. And if you're worried about where to keep your ward before getting there, we have a play canna for you. So it's all going to be exciting at the Joy Beauty and Bridal.
Thank you very much, Sandra. Well, we're going to our story, our interview of the day. And apart from the motor insurance, many do not pay attention to any other policies like life and other insurance policies. Our interview of the day is just concentrating on that as Sandra interviews someone on that.
Packaging insurance, I will say people who sell insurance need to have strong relationship with those they want to sell insurance to. Insurance is sold and not bought. And meaning that you need to let whoever you're targeting understand the benefits of what you're selling to them. They need to appreciate the features of the product you're selling to them. If I come to you selling motor insurance, I need to let you know there are 3 types of covers you can take. Now, having established this for you, then I go further to explain the type of policies to you. Insurance is technical, but it can be easily understood. It gets complicated when we don't understand what is expected of us. If my house is burgled, for instance, first of all, there will be indication.
Well, I've had a blast on Business Live. Let's do it again tomorrow. But join us on Prime for more business news. My name is Odilia Intiamwa.